Mind the culture.
Mind your culture.
in
My
your
culture.
mind.
Culture in
Culture
mind.
and mind.
This is the podcast for the culture.
And welcome to another Mind Culture podcast. Today we are in a wonderful space of MAG Angewandte in Vienna, in the very old Kaminzimmer, in this beautiful building. Thanks to them, we are able to do this podcast. We are also able to do this podcast thanks to Viral Visions Erasmus Network as well as BMKOES Austria. Today, our wonderful guests are Dominik Traun and Sebastian Wasner from Austrian Apparel. They have their own amazing musical techno duo. They also have their own label in Vienna called AA+. And today we're gonna talk about music, about how you start with electronical production, as well as how do you survive as a musician, and what can the music do for you. So let's begin. So Sebastian, Dominik, I'm so happy that you're here. You're both musicians, I would say.
Yeah.
And tell me, where does the passion come from? Because I also know that you've been studying digital arts and you've been working on film sets. So tell me a little bit how the music came around.
Do you want to start?
I think we both started learning piano quite early. For me, it was more like, I don't know, where parents send you to learn the piano and you don't really want it. I wanted to play the drums more. I think Dominik was more of a classical education with a teacher, a little bit more focused, I guess. And yeah, for me, I think when I was 13, a friend of mine gave me Impulse Tracker. It was a DOS-based program where you can put samples and it just timeline goes through and plays the samples. And I basically copied the songs that the guy who gave me the program did. So I did drum and bass style. And then I started, I think it was 2007, I bought my first synthesizer, and then a year later, I think I went to the University of Digital Arts, where we didn't meet.
We never met. We
Never
were in
met.
the same class, but we never met physically.
Same class, but never met.
Yeah, because we were like both, I don't know.
Maybe I think I saw you in one of the class meetings. But we met actually 2010 at the film set.
At the film set.
Yeah.
And then you realized you went to the same class.
No, it was like we had this big email thing where you could write an email to the whole class and everyone would receive it. And he wrote an email, I would like to come to a film set and know the ways about recording sound on a film set. And I was at this moment already working on a set of a friend of mine. He's in the film, or he used to be in the film academy. And I replied to him, yeah, cool, I need somebody to help me anyway, come along. And then we were like, I don't know, he was boom operating, I was on the mixer. It's not very interesting movie. And then we met afterwards to work on the sound for this movie. And we didn't do anything apart from like play each other our music, like nothing to do with the movie. And then we were just like, yeah, cool, man, this is cool sound. Let's do something together. And yeah, sometime later, I don't know, I finished the sound for the movie, but this is not the important part. The important part is that we sort of met through this movie. And
Nice. And how did you start with the music?
I don't know. Yeah, I come from a musical family, meaning that like most of my brothers and sisters and mother, they played the piano. They're not professional musicians, but they're all like playing the piano. And I remember sitting on my mom's lap at, I don't know, 5 years old, 6 years old, and wanting to play with her and telling her, yeah, I want to play piano, let me play, sort of. But my parents or my mother never really wanted me to become like a musician. It was like, for her it was nice to say, yeah, my son is playing the piano, he's good at school or whatever, and he's doing the piano as well, so it's sort of like this kind of vibe, but I wanted to do more, and I had to like fight for it a little bit. And then at uni, I don't know, I really didn't know which kind of university I wanted to go to. And a friend of mine who was at angewandte Digital Arts told me, yeah, try it out there. And tried it out. I got accepted. I really didn't like it there, actually.
Me neither.
Why not?
I don't know. It's the main teacher. We didn't really get along. She didn't really like me. I didn't really like her. And the focus was very much on like visual arts, and I wanted to do some sound stuff and only focused on sound. And then, I don't know, I wanted to do music that gets people in their stomach and hits them with feelings, and not like this kind of cerebral thing where you have to learn all the theory before you can enjoy the music or the art. This didn't really interest me, and then I really got back into making music. I mean, the coolest thing about going to this university was like meeting Sebastian and meeting cool other people with cool skill sets, which I still have contact with, some of them today. And also to know or to get to know what I didn't want. Like I was super young, I don't know, beginning of 20, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And the university told me what I don't want
you
to
don't
do.
want to do. Yeah,
which is
similar
also
experience.
Yeah, it's a worthwhile experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Go, please.
It's like this at the university. We did some, or there were people who did sound art, and then we presented the sound art, and the teacher said, "Yeah, pretty cool, but where's the room?" So that they always wanted to like see an installation or something.
Okay.
And we said, yeah, sometimes doesn't need the room or to experience it in a room or to interact with it. And that was really, that was a bit annoying. And that for me was the part where I said, yeah, it's not for me. I don't want to be an artist who does like installations and sell them or something.
Yeah, I saw you did like was some 8-channel thing at the in some place in the Donau. I was doing my little research.
That was me, yeah. That was kind of fun, yeah.
And I remember the Ö1 interview of Dominik.
Yeah, I said something about rooms.
Yeah, he had to say it.
No, but I meant it in a different way. I was like this acoustic room. Like the actual building, but like
That's funny though.
Yeah, I mean there is so many, like you think like you study art and it's like it's contemporary art, it should give you the freedom, but then there are so many rules that you have to follow, and I feel like it can be quite unnerving, honestly.
Yeah.
But is there something at the uni that you actually accept of meeting each other that you like got from it? Like, because I see like the way you present yourself online and generally like the way you connect your music to photography and to visual representation is quite strong. So
yeah, maybe like a sense for aesthetics, maybe like this sort of thing. A bit of like I don't know, appreciation of visual arts as well, how they can like support the music in our case. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know, like this sense of aesthetics, you sort of also, I think you start developing when you're like a small kid. You already know what you like, what you don't like, and this sort of develops all your life. But yeah, there were some classes I remember that were very interesting at the university, but it was just, for me, it wasn't enough sound oriented. So it was too much visual arts, which can be interesting and everything, but yeah, I wanted to do more sound, basically.
yeah, I have a lot of, actually coming from like let's say the other end of the spectrum, I have a lot of friends that studied contemporary composition, and that in itself is also like a big set of rules, you know, that you have to follow. That especially contemporary composition, like you have to be able to notate. You connect it with like digital music, but not in the same way that you work. I always find it interesting to compare like the how to say, like more classical contemporary composition with the like, I don't know, very what they call experimental contemporary music, and these are like they're supposedly similar things, but very
coming from different ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
do you sometimes miss, this knowledge or this education that you could maybe have, or you think it's liberating?
Sure, yeah, to have this kind of forum or place you can come and exchange maybe ideas or ask questions like, how did you get from there to there? But I mean, we're like all connected to the internet. You can just go to a forum and ask a question. Of course, it's less personal, but you can get to the end if you like really want to. Obviously, it's cooler to have like a pool of people you can like exchange, but you sort of develop this professionally anyway, because you know people that do the same stuff. You can like ask them about any problems you have, or
So how do you learn to make music?
For like somebody who wants to learn how to make music, just listen to a lot of music, a lot, and then try to copy it. Is always a good method, because in the process of trying to copy it, you never, for me at least, you're never gonna come to the spot where you say, yeah, it's a perfect copy. You're always gonna end up with something different, and then you can pick out this idea you get. This is a way to go and get to be able to make music. But it's like with electronic music, the cool thing is you don't have to have like a piano background or musical background. You just have to have an ear, which is like I don't know, like some of the best electronic producers or musicians don't really know how to play an instrument, but still they have like a really great ear. They know how to combine sounds in a really interesting way.
Everybody can do it.
Maybe.
Yeah, but some people do it better than the others.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody can do it. It's, if you put your mind behind it and you love what you're doing, it's gonna take a few years, and then I think you're gonna be able to make music.
How many years?
1.5.
Until you're good. 1.5.
No, I don't know. If you like, it depends how many hours you put in of like practice and trying to get your craft to get better. And yeah.
I'm asking because I also had the DOS program.
Okay.
And I was really into it at some point. And then I dropped it. But I was more like then, like at the early computers time, I was more interested in doing like graphic design.
Yeah.
So music was awesome. But then I discovered, Photoshop, early Photoshop. And I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah. This was groundbreaking. Yeah, sure.
And yeah, I sometimes feel like now, look, working with choreography but also working with cameras and just doing already the sound. For this podcast, I already am more and more interested in actually creating, tracks and more sophisticated things.
Yeah, a friend of mine, for example, he didn't know how to play any instruments. And then, I think it was before the pandemic, he started learning the guitar through YouTube, just playing the songs that he liked. And then he asked me, he wants to buy like a sampler or a drum machine or something. And I recommended him 2 tools. And then I think a week later, he showed me a song. So yeah, he had some basic guitar skills, but the electronic part, I don't know if you're I don't know, we grew up digitally, we know how to use stuff. It's not super difficult. And yeah, I guess you can learn it really fast.
So what is the electronic musician starter pack?
Starter pack?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are these Korg Volkas and these little drum machines or samplers. They're really cheap. You can get one device for I don't know, 100 euros or something.
Yeah, but also, I mean, I would say the starter pack is
Just
a correct version of Ableton or Logic.
Just crack the stuff and try it.
Yeah.
So Ableton and Logic.
Yeah, or
Either
Bit,
or.
or
Either or.
Bitwig.
Yeah.
It's also really cool.
Oh.
I mean, there are even like this 8-track where I can only use 8 tracks of Ableton
Free
or
versions,
16, yes, for free. And I would totally say it's totally ethical to crack a program if you don't have the money for it. If you're a beginner and you don't want to spend, I don't know, 600 euros for Ableton. I mean,
Yeah,
then not-
because later if you start making money,
Exactly,
you can
yeah.
afford to buy.
That was what I was gonna say. If, like, you tried out this long, and then if you make money from it, you should buy it. I
Yeah.
think,
Cool.
it's just fair.
totally.
And for the hardware, you said the little Korg drum machine, or
I'm not following the things, but I think there are lots of cool stuff. That
Yeah,
is super.
I mean, I would tend more to like a small synthesizer, but it's like how
what do you
we-
recommend?
We think differently, or our approach is different. Still, I don't know. Maybe like the Mini Log from Korg is like a nice, affordable synthesizer. You can take it anywhere. It's light. It's got small keys. It's analog sound with digital controls. It's cool. You can get places with it. And I don't know. I mean, I come from this kind of instrumental interface. I need something to like play my fingers with and like express musically through my arms and fingers. But it's not necessary. It's just the way I think musically. And some people can do it all in their heads. I need to play around. I don't know. So
Yeah, but then I think once you start, then it's like this well without the bottom. It's like bottomless pit. You start like getting more and more equipment, right? Is this also
this
a problem?
can be a problem. Yeah.
I tend to sell it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very bad at selling my old synthesizers. I have a few of them I haven't touched for years. It's a little bit of like a passion for collecting those instruments as well. Or that's how I explain it to myself.
Yeah, that's the justification part.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can relate to that a little bit. Yeah, but this is like I've always. Tell me about your musical inspiration, because you said you should listen a lot of music, like because
Yeah, I also say it.
I also that's also what I always done. But I'm wondering, like, what is the music that was most groundbreaking for you when you heard it? Like something that you think shaped you, or something that you really admire still to this very day?
I think the one track that sold me to at least melodic techno when I first heard the Sky Was Pink remix from James Holden.
Yeah, same for me.
But also, I mean, it was groundbreaking, and I also think that it's the same with Noisia and drum and bass. I think like when I heard Noisia the first time, I stopped producing drum and bass because I thought everything is said. There is nothing.
Nothing I can add.
Nothing I can add.
Yeah,
And I have the same feeling after I heard The Sky Was Pink. And also the fact that he stopped doing techno after that, I think.
Yeah, a few years later.
Yeah. And I think this song, even though it's a remix, was just such a statement. But it also diminished my like I don't have the urge to add something to melodic techno because everything is there.
Yeah, this is really sad. Like I have this also with choreography. Sometimes when I see things, I'm thinking, what am I doing? Like I see something amazing and I'm like, what have I been doing for the last 10 years?
Yeah, I know this.
But it can also be relaxing because then you don't have to achieve stuff and you can just enjoy doing the stuff.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to invent new things. It's just restructuring, and you can work on your personality. Yeah.
For me, it was, and that was actually music Sebastian showed me, was Boards of Canada. It's like a duo. They don't really make dancey electronic music, but they have like this kind of sound design, this kind of their own language. You can like play 2 seconds of a track of theirs and you immediately recognize their sound. This sort of changed my world of like how I listen to electronic music. They're very special. You should listen to them. Boards of Canada.
Yeah, I
Probably
know. Yeah, good. That's like...
They play with your head. Really do.
And anything non-electronic also, or is this something that you reach for, or
like vocal music, you mean, or I don't know.
I don't know if there's any other music than electronic.
Second, I mean, I don't know. The second Björk album is
Okay.
super electronic as well, but it's like more pop direction. This sort of also really rocked my boat, I would say.
Okay. I mean, I like that you're very focused on the
Yeah, it was
electronic. But I mean, I listen to funk, I listen to rock, I
Yeah,
listen to everything.
sometimes too. Yeah, but I don't know. Like in my home where I grew up, it was like almost only classical music being played in the background. I mean, I still enjoy it somehow, but my parents would never play a pop song. Never. There was never any Beatles, Rolling Stones, or anything. I was like, my brother and me, we had to like I don't know, discover these kind of sounds by ourselves, and this sort of makes it more of your own discovery also, which can be cool as well, I think.
Yeah. And
Maybe. I mean, there's a few Beatles records which extremely powerful and important to me. Pink Floyd as well, and
nice. Yeah, and then, I mean, I'm not a musician again, but I was fascinated by Quincy Jones. Like, but this is like an epic producer for me.
He's a boss.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like a boss, you know. He can make any kind of sound, and I don't know how he did it.
But also, like, I really love like all the hip hop and J Dilla or Madlib. It's like
totally,
epic things. But
Quincy Jones said a really interesting thing. I don't know if I'm like super 100% on the same page with this, but he said if he's not happy or if he doesn't like himself in a moment, he's not going to be able to do good music. So it's like very much about you gotta be in tune with yourself and like yourself to be able to like. And he says you got to really train to like yourself to be able to like enjoy your output as well. So this is kind of an interesting approach, I think. I mean, some people say it's like the best songs were written while people are like super sad. I'm not so sure about this because for me personally, I work better and harder if I'm in a good mood.
I think music can be a lot of things to a lot of different people.
expression,
Yeah.
mental state.
Yeah.
But it's like mental state you only need once, like if you're sad, and then you have this sort of idea, but to really work it out into a piece of music, I think you need to work on it and you need to be focused and not be like sad, well, where's my girlfriend, whatever. But you need to be like a boss like Quincy Jones.
What is your approach to making music? Like, how do you go about, like, if you have, an idea of a track, or like how the idea of a track comes, and how do you like work on it further? Like, I'm curious. Like, if I want to make music, like, you can copy your process.
Yeah, I don't have an idea. I don't really have music in my head. I just go to the studio and start.
Yeah, often it's like a jam. I don't know if you play around with the synthesizer, you play with the sound design and how the thing you play sounds. And sometimes, or often for me, it's like the sound, like how the note sounds I play sort of directs me to the melody this sound needs, if you know what I mean. It's like you have the form beforehand, and then you know how it moves because of the form it has. This sort of approach. So it's for me, it's also similar that I don't have this melody in my head. Well, I need to put exactly this into music, because it never really works out. It's always like a deviation of what it's in your head. So for me, the best thing is to just like put my hands on the synthesizer and listen to the sound, and then it sort of makes my hands move by itself. And then when we make music together, it's a lot of times it's just jamming, like either he's on a computer or on a synthesizer, or I'm on a computer or a synthesizer, and then we jam together, and there's gonna be like 100% sure there's gonna be a moment we both like, and then we can like develop from this part and say, yeah, this is cool, let's focus on this. And sometimes it happens after 1 second of jamming, sometimes it takes like a few minutes or half an hour, but it's every time we have all our equipment like build up and play around, there's gonna be something new that we like.
Yeah, and the cool thing about the modern age is that every even the analog ones have presets that you can save. And if you buy a synthesizer or a plugin, you already have like hundreds of presets that are quite good. And you just skip through them sometimes, and then you say, nice sound. And then you're already in there tweaking the stuff. And then, yeah, if you're more experienced, you know what you like as your sound. And when you know the synth, you're quite fast to get where your sound feels right. Yeah.
And how is it like? Okay, so you have like let's say the melody, but then you have a little bit of, like you must have a lot of knowledge about the rhythms and how you like create patterns, or how you know like structure the track, because this is like a big thing. I feel like, because I saw that some of your tracks were arrhythmical as well. So is this correct way to say it? Arrhythmical? I don't know.
Think, yeah.
Polyrhythms.
It has
polyrhythm,
yeah.
So I'm wondering like what kind of knowledge you need to have to do this.
For me, it's more like experience, I guess, or like listening experience. Because if you listen to like certain kinds of music, you sort of get the feel for it and the connections between the elements, and you sort of, for me at least, it's like, okay, I think this sounds right, this sounds cool. But this only works if you have listened to like loads of similar things, similar kinds of music before. I mean, of course, there's different approaches, or some people that just have it in their head already and don't need to listen to like loads of different songs. But for me, it's like subconsciously you pick up certain elements of tracks, and you like them in your head, and you can just like employ them or like put them into your tracks. And it's like you don't reinvent the wheel. For me, it's like if you listen to cool tracks, and I always go, or like sometimes I go, it's like, okay, this part is really nice, I could use this and like incorporate it in my track. And it's not like copying, it's like just learning from their experience in a way, from people who have like solved a similar problem musically. And
and how do you stand out then?
Just keep on doing what you're doing, I guess. It's not
Persistence.
Yeah.
Persistence is key.
And how do you actually, because you're, I don't know, I would love to say that you're a very popular musical artist, but I don't know if all my friends know who Austrian Apparel is at the moment. So I'm wondering, like, how do you survive on this level in the business? Like, how did you make it into your own, career thing?
That's one thing.
We're still asking ourselves.
Yeah, there's I remember an interview where the guy said that we are kind of in a bubble here in Vienna. And first I thought, why in a bubble? And then I thought about it, and it's a little bit of a truth there, because if you look to Germany, there are like thousands of live acts that do the same like what we do. And here in Vienna, we're kind of the only guys.
It's not.
I don't know. I don't know of anybody else who does it.
Yeah, there's a few, but I don't think they don't have this persistence. Maybe.
Yeah, and it's kind of, it's only one scene, and this is Vienna, and we are. I mean, Dominik is the master networker, and so we are kind of, we have a place here, and it's probably super difficult to break into the scene. And this is kind of a bubble that we're in, because if somebody wants to book a techno live act, it's only us.
You're gonna think of us,
or Electro Guzzi, but they're kind of a band vibe, and they're probably not gonna play in a club,
in a small club. Yeah, I think it's persistence,
and it's super clear that if somebody books us, we're gonna deliver.
Yes.
It's not like somebody comes and the stuff doesn't work. So we have this professionality, and that's also super hard to achieve, I guess.
Yeah, but you also have like this special thing where you don't play from a computer, but you play from instruments. And I think that makes it very unique and special. And
we have a computer though now.
Yeah. let's keep the
we
legend
still have
going.
the instruments. We still have the instruments we play, but we have a little bit of assistance now with the laptop.
Yeah, with the pandemic now and the last album, we incorporated a laptop, because also I was skipping 1 year of live gigs, and now we have this kind of feeling like, wow, cool, these beats from the laptop, this kind of sound good, because they have these micro edits all over, and it has some quality. What do you think? Do you think it's gonna go back to the...
I don't know. I think the most expression musically, which you can like use live, comes more from the synthesizers than from the drums. Because
doesn't really matter if there is a...
Yeah, because in electronic dance music, the drums are like this kind of backbone. You don't really like make it like this or like this. It's got to be straight. It's got to be this fundament of your sound. It has a function, of course. People want to dance, like, hopefully. And like the musical expression for me, in my opinion, is more coming from the musical sounds, which are like created from the synthesizers,
like the melodies, the bass sounds, the effect sounds that go, the drones, stuff that's maybe not like right away you would sort of think it comes from a synthesizer, but there's a lot of like expression to be done with the synthesizers. So I imagine you play a lot of live acts, at least before the pandemic. But I'm curious, like, so you probably have a lot of experience of making people dance, and I'm just actually, this is the reason why I connected so well to your music, is because I saw you at the ImPulsTanz a long time ago playing, and to be very honest, I couldn't dance. Like it was not possible to dance to this kind of music in this kind of setting, because it was just, it was too epic. Sometimes the music is just too epic, to dance to it. I don't know if I can explain, like.
Yeah, it was before our techno.
Yeah, but it was something something so powerful that I thought this is amazing, because it's like, this is exactly the kind of techno music or techno-alike music that I like, with this very long synthesizer notes that had really a lot of very specific how do you call it, color, texture, and it had this trance thing. Even though I didn't dance, you had this like trance element. So, and I'm wondering, what is your experience of making people, putting people in this state? You know, it's like putting people in the trance, and how do you? How can you create this kind of, I don't know, shamanic experience, and like what are the elements that you use to navigate it? How do you navigate it? How do you create this? What are the tools? What are the strategies? Because I imagine like if someone would come to, maybe without this experience, come to a party, they play like whatever music and it would be like just tan 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 tan, and people are not getting it. But like I have the feeling like you are able to grasp the people and just take them somewhere else. So I'm wondering, what is this?
I don't know. For me, it's if I'm getting elevated or having like this sort of spiritual feelings from music, I think other people can have it as well. So it's not like that I would be going, hey, you're gonna have this spiritual experience with my music. It's more like I'm gonna feel it. And if I'm feeling it, if we're feeling it, I'm pretty sure other people are gonna feel it as well. This sort of approach. So if it like if it touches me, I'm sure other people are gonna be touched as well. So that's how I see it. It's not like we try to do it like we're gonna do some epic sounds and you're gonna be like overwhelmed. It just happens sometimes, and sometimes not, but sometimes it does. And it starts with us. If we feel it, if we get this feeling, we can transport it to other people, and that's how I see it.
And if you would conceptualize it a bit, like, do you know, like, would you be able to name, like, what are the good conditions for this to happen? Because I imagine this is a certain kind of flow, maybe.
Do you mean like in a performance kind of condition, you would say? Or...
Well, let's say that you have this live situation, and your task is to create it. And you have to just create it. Like you must have some techniques where you say, I'm gonna play this. It's gonna be this order.
Sure. I mean, like having long introductions, like you said, long synthesizer notes and creating tension, and then a release. This is sort of like the basic elements of music, anyway. This is like certainly works with synthesizers as well. Another setting is that to have a good sound system, obviously, have a good room, have a good vibe with the people. Like, people should be wanting to be there and not like, who are these guys? Why are we here? Dark, for me at least. I like it dark. Powerful sound system, I already said. And our synthesizers. We're gonna fly to the moon with this setting.
Nice. Sebastian, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we only play minor or some variations. So it's kind of emotional from the start. We don't play like happy or energetic. Sometimes it gets into a tribal feeling, but then it goes back into more like, thoughtful or
deep.
Deep, thoughtful, trancey. Yeah, that's the vibe.
But I remember, like when I was starting to make music with you, because you said it's like mostly minor key as opposed to major, but like we mix a lot. And
combination.
I remember like you like playing like major chords and then minor, and I was like, wow, this really sounds cool, because you have this tension also between like sort of happy and sad sounding stuff, and this really sort of opened my eyes, blew my mind. It really did.
I only play Phrygian.
Nice. Cool. So what is like besides the trance experience in the club or like listening?
I was gonna say something else
ahead.
about this kind of trance feeling, and like you said, sometimes it's so epic that you sort of want to listen or you can't really move. This is something we're gonna come back with our next release. It's gonna be like almost no beats, ambient. The album's gonna be called Always There For You, and it's basically coming back a little bit to these roots of having like really pure synthesizer music that's like overflowing you. You might not be able to sit. You're gonna have to lie down. I don't know. Yeah. And I have like this fantasy in my head, maybe we're gonna do it, to have like this kind of release party where people can actually lie down and like maybe have like a soft floor where people can like lie down and like experience the music. Like I think it would be the best way to experience it. And yeah, I hope this is gonna work out.
Yeah, I think this is a great way to experience music. I think also like there is something beautiful about like going to a hardcore dance party, like with a lot of people inside, which I still remember from back in the days. But yeah, exactly when this kind of epic sound comes in, then I'm also really okay with not doing anything.
Yeah.
And this is
But it's, I mean, I guess it's similar with music and movement. You can't have movement without no movement. You can't have music without silence in a way. You know what I mean? So you always need this back and forth. Like in music, it's the same. You need like silent parts or low parts to make the high parts sound good. And I think it's similar with movement. And
yeah, and also like there's like there are different. I think they call it dramaturgies. So like there's different ways to organize. The more condensed parts and the more fast part, the more slow parts. And the contrast between like there's tons of ways to organize it. Like you can have constant crescendo. You can have like a very stable drive. You can have an increasing drive. You can have like
it's basically just a way to tell a story. Is how I feel. It's like same with movement and dancing, and same with music.
Yeah. And speaking of music again, like, do you see like besides techno parties and besides room sound installations and besides listening at home, do you see other contexts where music like this could do you have an experience of working with your music in other contexts as well?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's been music we use or we provided for videos, for example. We made an NFT, or I think 2 now already. I don't know if they have been sold. I don't think so.
We can link them below.
We'd love to do, I don't know, computer game sounds as well. I mean, we love to incorporate or like contribute our music to.
So it's all about finding contacts and
yeah.
Okay, so if anyone is looking for computer game music
or any or dance music and theater music, we enjoy this kind of stuff. And
yeah, that's something I wanted to do with you. Like, I mean, I think we started talking half a year ago or a year ago.
Summer,
I would really love to work together, but for the moment I don't have the funds and didn't have the yes.
Somebody.
Yes, but that would be amazing. Like I could see, like especially with our company, like we do a lot of physical dancing, and I think this kind of music would be epic.
Totally.
And the combination of we need good composers because it's like you go to see performances, no music. Why? Or like some greatest hits from the radio, like you.
It's sad.
Yeah, like or you have like electronic music, but not on the level, because like it's a skill. Like there are composers that work with dance, and yes, it's okay, but it doesn't like, it's usually like, it's nice, but it doesn't reach on this deep level. And I think this is what you can do, which is very, what I would call visceral. Just like it touches your gut, and this is that's a skill, definitely.
But it's cool that you think that way. It's not all choreographers.
No,
I don't think so.
maybe not in Vienna. Okay, and you have a record label.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it important to have your own record label as a musician?
I don't think so. For us, it was just like to have a sort of a vessel or a vehicle for our own music, to be able to act fast and release in when we want to release, and not wait for other labels' schedule to be like to release. Okay, we're gonna take these tracks, but we're gonna release them in, I don't know, 12, 15 months. And for me, this kind of, for us, this feeling was like it's finished now, we want to release it now. I mean, we have a similar problem with like the record plants, like not being able to deliver the records, and we're waiting to release that. So it's also a problem with your own label. But I just thought it sort of fits our way, maybe.
Because a record label, I think you have to have a whole network of you know, where you advertise it, where you sell it. Like I imagine it's a big
It's a
machine.
big thing. Yeah, if we had the money, we should hire a person to run it, of course. But yeah, I think with our network, we can like sort of survive with this record label. And the idea is not to be like a super big record label one day, but just to have like this place where we can like give our music and it's have its pathway or gateway to the world. And
Yeah, because like, for example, like I don't know how it is in
AA Plus Records, it's called, by the way.
AA Plus. It's do you also release some other artists actually?
We did release 2 remixes of 2 songs of ours by other artists.
Okay.
So, but the idea is mainly to use it as a label for, or an output for our music.
And what are the main channels of communication that you use, or to advertise, or to make
Social
people...
media, email, and press. We have a person we sometimes work with for releases, and he has good contacts to Austrian press people. And these are like the channels: Facebook, Instagram, email, and.
Is it enough?
Of course, it can be more. Of course, the network of connections of people we know can always be bigger. So it's not enough.
If you compare it to the maximum would be the marketing agencies that Charlotte DeWitt or the Nina Kravitz use, where you pay hundreds of thousands of euros.
Yeah,
and then you're broken into the scene. Like there you have this new artist, and
but it's also difficult because you pay a lot for these promo agencies, and you're not guaranteed like an outcome. So
for example, with our album, the last one, the reach was like, we had, if we would have done it with a normal sized label, I'm not so sure that they can even generate that reach. Because when you look at the labels, when they post something or something, they maybe get 10 likes, or it's
that's also
the time is a little bit changed.
If you release your own music, no one's gonna be as much like working for it as yourself.
Yes, but there's so much work.
It is work, but nowadays, I don't know, an artist is like part manager, part, I don't know, office worker, part artist.
And how many, like, how does it look like percentage wise for you?
Depends.
Like, what is the artist? What is the
like 2% artist?
Okay.
No, and it depends what we're in. If we're having a release, of course, it's gonna be more hours, like spent promoting it or like writing to people and advertising it.
And how does the process of getting your music out look like? Because you say writing to people, you say email, like, but like, if you could
That's
say
already when
more,
it's
more,
out.
more concretely, how does it work?
We finish a track, we do a mixing, we do a master, which is important. We send it, most of the times we let somebody else master it. Then we get the finished master, we upload it to platforms. Maybe we do physical release as well. And then you have these services, you pay, I don't know, $20 a year. They put it up on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and all these streaming platforms.
Like, for example,
What
kind of services?
they're
CD Baby,
CD Baby.
DistroKid,
Okay,
they're like digital
TuneCore.
digital distributors.
right.
And then
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp is also a big part for us.
That's probably the best way to earn money.
Yeah,
Because
you
you
don't
get,
even
like-
need a label.
Yeah, you
for
don't need a
Bandcamp.
label, just put it there.
Yeah, you can sell your merch through Bandcamp as well, and
Do you generate revenue from this digital publishing?
Maybe
a little.
50 euros a year or something.
Oh,
really?
Maybe a little more, but
Okay,
it's not like comparable to like playing live.
So you mostly live from playing live?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like a vehicle for your promotion,
Yeah,
but then people
like
book
it's
you
something
because
that
of
has
that.
to be there, so that people can like access it and buy it if they want. But yeah, the main income is playing live,
Right.
hustling.
Hustling, yeah. And when you don't like, do you have any other activities to make money if you don't play live, or how does it work?
I teach a little bit. I have a second student at the moment, like studio hardware stuff. I rent out my studio. I have a second room I rent out completely. So this is sort of like my pocket money.
Cool.
Yeah, I work as a sound engineer at Brut.
Oh, cool.
Theater. Yeah. And that's what I do.
Nice. Yeah, sound engineer. Like, that's something that I thought there is a study for, right? Sound engineering is an actual study.
There is a university program,
Yeah.
but there's like loads of different. There's like the SAE, and then there's like a place called Tonart that we went to, because of it being a what you call it, a free Gewerbe. What's the trade?
Trade, yeah.
Yeah,
trade,
it's you don't have to have
Okay.
you can just call yourself a sound engineer
Okay.
because it's not something you need to get a license for or anything.
Right.
So so it's a free trade, but of course it helps if you know what you're doing, which cable goes into what.
Exactly. I mean, like I did a lot of with light design and working with light, but working with light is kind of, it's something else because like the electrical signal you deal with, it's
Can be dangerous.
yeah, but it's just one type. Whereas like if you work with music, it's like it's more complicated. I feel because you have all the interferences that are happening. All different kinds of musical.
Now also
inputs.
the music is transformed into electrical current.
Yes.
So if anything goes wrong in the cable,
Exactly.
the music is gonna sound shit.
Yeah, it's like it's always seemed a little bit more complicated. Also, the machine in the theater for music is just like way over the top
I think
complicated.
it's just the way you look at it. Because for me, I think light is more complicated.
Yeah.
But it's just because I don't know how to do it, probably.
Okay. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Yeah. Do you have a plan to become like a successful artist, world recognizable artist, or is this something that you strive for, or is this something you need?
I don't know if we need it. It'd be cool if we play more abroad. Well, yeah. I mean, we're not, both of us, we're not like these kind of super achievers that, I mean, we work on our stuff. Of course, we'd like to be bigger, but it's not gonna, me at least, it's not gonna make me a happier musician.
Right.
It's cool if more people like enjoy our music, and if we get to travel more. Yeah, I would, look at it like this.
Yeah.
I would say if I would be 20, I would say go all in. But I can't imagine myself being in a club every weekend. That's just not what I am. So I'm quite happy to enjoy it once in a while. But I think for me it's quite unhealthy lifestyle. So
Yeah, so we should do more theater and dance.
Yeah. Nice.
It's healthier.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, of course.
Yeah, you have to, I mean, I like being up late. You have to sort of enjoy playing at 2 o'clock in the morning. This is usually our time. And like, I don't know, theater performance and dance performance are usually like 7:30 or 8. And
Yeah, then you go to sleep at normal time, usually.
it's healthier, for sure.
Cool. So tell me the last thing, like your next album, when is it coming?
yeah, we.
I don't know when
we have a funding that runs out in June.
Yeah.
So
Should be there
we
before
have to release it before then. So before June.
The thing is, I mean, we could go and release the digital parts or like the digital tracks beforehand, but we have this big concept with the cover of the record. That's why we need to release it at the same time.
Got it. Yeah. So in June it's gonna be there.
At the latest.
What's the title?
Always there for you.
Okay. And the record label is called
AA Plus Records.
Oh, nice. Do you have any new gigs planned for playing live?
Yeah, I don't know, when is this podcast going to be released?
Probably in 2 weeks time.
Yeah, we have one on the 8th of April, so that's probably going to be just minute releases. Yeah, that's the next one. There's a few ones coming up in summer, Lighthouse Festival. There's one festival in Czech Republic we're playing. Yeah, there's a few gigs coming.
Nice.
Check our social media.
We'll do that. Maybe last thing, because I always ask in every podcast and I just forgot. If you have like young artists, young musicians, young people who have a dream, would you give them any kind of advice?
Yeah, just keep on working, be persistent, and don't let anyone else tell you what kind of music or art you should make.
Networking.
Yeah, it's a big one. Cool. Yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks, man.
Thank you again.